Hey everybody, welcome to another one of Arbiter's Garrysmod tutorials. Today's kind of a challenge slash tutorial that I've been given. Obviously I completed the challenge and now I want to teach you all how to do it. A friend of mine challenged me to build an amphibious car. A lot of YouTube channels do stuff like this, and some of them are really good and some of them are quite poor. And I just wanted to tell you all how I did the challenge. First of all, your main ingredients have to be stuff that floats. I mean, the main ingredient is these barrels, because they float on water. So whatever my vehicle was made out of, it had to be really comprised of those, and light materials so that they would float. So I did do this challenge, and I'm just going to teach you how to build the car that I used in the challenge. It's a pretty simple... I say simple, it's a fairly good design. It's not very versatile, and the car section doesn't really work at all. While I'm talking, I'm just going to put together really this the shape that you should have all come to know and love of every vehicle I ever build. And what I really wanted to do was have something using wire mod that would really separate out the car and the boat elements of this. Don't think I'm going to bother putting a screen on. I might as well put a screen on. Specialised. So, whatever I built, I wanted to have the car and the boat being totally separate. So the first part I did was build the car, which I'm doing now. Let's put a seat on here as well. Did I finish welding that? Better make sure. Brilliant. Okay, so let's get a seat on here. Let's use Jalopy. Let's use my fancy seat. Let's just weld that on. Brilliant. Okay. So let's get some wheels on here. Wire wheels. There they are. And what's propellers? They're no good. What are you? Too big. Hold on a bit. Too small. What about you? Kind of getting there. These double wheels are kind of the best thing to go for. Before I put the wheels on though, I am going to look kind of a bit ahead of time, attach barrels to the sides of the boat, of the side of the car, in kind of preparation for the flotation bit. And what I also find is that with wire wheels in the car kind of system I'm going to use, the wheels being as further away from the centre of gravity as possible is best. It allows them to turn much better. So you'll kind of see what I mean. So I'm just putting these barrels on so that the frame itself is floating. But I have more things to add, just sit tight. So let's get the wheels on. And luckily that I've put these barrels on in such a way that the flat edge is facing outwards, so that these wheels will hopefully just be able to sit flat in a straight line. Let's rotate this side, drop it, and you can see already it's taking a good shape. Now, I've kind of not cheated, but in a very intuitive way, I wanted a system where I could control each wheel independently, and so to do that I've written an expression, if it loads, where is it, car engine, that just kind of, you can see the output separates out each wheel's action. So you can see that the inputs are WASD and space, so I want to go forwards, left, right, back, and brake. And I've also got in another parameter that says on water, and that's just purely for the boat section. Because what I want to happen is when we are on water, the wheels to not obviously work, because there's no point in the wheels working, and for another system to kick in. So what this expression does is it says, you know, if I'm trying to go forwards but I want to turn, if I'm going backwards and I want to turn, if I'm not going in the other direction but I want to turn, that the wheels know what they're supposed to be doing depending on what happens with the pod controller. So I'm just going to attach the pod controller here. Where is it? I keep losing everything in this menu. There it is. So let's wire that up, and let's wire up this expression. So W, wire up to W, A, let's wire up to A, S to S, and S to S, and D to D. Oh, and space to spacebar. So, all the outputs, so each wheel needs to be wired up to its own unique output. So that's the front left wheel, so let's do go is wired up to front left. Front right is wired up to front right. That's the back right. Well, what's wired up to front right? Rear right and rear left. Wired up to rear left. And let's put all the brakes wired up to brake as well, so that when I hopefully press the space bar, the car will brake, although I don't think at any point that system's worked. Anyway, if I stop cycling past that, and brake. Okay, so now hopefully the car element of this should just work. Let's give it a bash. Let's go into third person view. I've got a new model now, so I'm actually the Arbiter. So forwards, yeah, that works. Let's turn right. Oh, it's a bit clunky, the turning circle's fairly bad, but hey, it's working. I'm not going to go in the water just yet because there's more things I want to add, or need to add rather. So, the wheels work in a car fashion, so that's brilliant. For the moment, for just now, I'm going to add some boosters on the back, because I like my boosters. These are going to be, let's say 5,000 thrust. I'm just going to attach these on the back, so that if I want to go fast, because sometimes you got to go fast, I'm just going to wire that up to the pod controller on shift. And that's just going to be so that if at any point, whether I'm on land or water, I want to boost, I can, because going slow is pretty crap. So, car aside, let's go on to how the boat's going to work. Obviously it just needs flotation, it needs to float, so I'm not sure if this model will float at the minute. No. And I'm not surprised, because wheels carry weight, so does the frame. Everything on there carries weight, and there's only 4 barrels, so we need more barrels. But I don't really want to attach loads of barrels on the side. I mean, I could, get the stacker tool out and just, which way is that front? So behind, just, oops, that's not really flat. No, there's that one. No, there's that one. Yeah, and I could just stacker all the things along so that the frame's encompassed by barrels, but that's not really what I want to do. That's too simple. So what I found, or what I've known about, is if I'm just going to spawn a little cube here and a wire screen. Is that a big one? Yeah, that'll do. Right. Ignore what the thing says, and there is a little something in wire detection, I think it is, water sensor. And it's just a little circular object that goes on something, and you can see there it just says wire water sensor above water, but that also has a numeric output as well. So 0 is when it's above water, and if I was to just drop this in the ocean, that changes to 1, because when it's below water, it changes to 1. So, oh no, what have I just done? Oh, I haven't done the thrusters, damn it. So, we can introduce a system where we know when the car is on when it's on land and when it's on water. I'm just going to spawn a little cube and stick it to the front for reasons that will become apparent in a while. And I'm going to put the water sensor on the bottom of this. On the bottom of this little cube. Where's it going? Water sensor. So there's our there's our water sensor. The reason being is if you think about direction of travel, obviously if you're in a car you want to go like front first. So if I just stop there, at that moment, at that exact moment, when the front wheel's in the water and the back wheels aren't, the water sensor is underwater now. And so the system is going to kick in then. At that exact moment, the system will change from being a car system to a boat system. Whereas if the water sensor was at the back, the whole car is going to be submerged until it's going to be at that point when the car decides to be a boat. Similarly, coming out of the water, as soon as the front wheel's out of the water, the water sensor is going to kick in and say, okay, it's time to be a car again, and that's going to allow us to get up this ramp. So that's why the water sensor is at the front, and it's also why it's on a little dip down platform, so that it kind of hits the water first, but it isn't lower than the wheels. So it's not going to collide with anything, but it's also going to alert the boat, assuming we're travelling forwards, when we hit the water to begin with. So the idea I had for my boat was to spawn a little plate like this. Oh dear, I've knocked my my wheels out of lot. It might be a bit too small. I want something maybe a little bit bigger. And what I wanted to do was to, if I just spawn that on, maybe there might be best, is to put them on a ball socket so that they hinge to the car. If I undo the weld, and then you can. So what I want to do is have these on both sides of the car and have them deploy, like kind of like wings, and then stick barrels on these wings so that that they float downwards. So to do that, I'm going to need. Well, I've already got the hinge in place. I'm just going to take this thing off because I want to design two. I want to design a wing and then duplicate it. So that's going to be our basic system. I'm going to make that panel a bit bigger because I'm not happy with the size of that. It was a 1x3, so let's make a 1x4. That's about right, I think. And let's spawn a to make the wings go up and down and not kind of spaz out by bashing off each other. I'm going to build a mast so that the wings get lowered and raised from the top. So I'm going to build a, what's that, 2, 3, so that'd be 4, a little pole like that, and I'm going to stick that in the middle there. So let's get our barrels out. No, these will never stick to the thing so flat, so maybe it will. Maybe if I get the stacker out and... No, see, that's just totally not. I'm going to have to do it by hand. Or Bob Barrack. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted. But it's not... right, so behind left. There we go. These bottom ones are kind of too close to the frame of the car, so I'm going to remove these two bottom ones like that and just keep the rest like in that kind of fashion. Duplicate and I haven't welded them. Excuse me. So yeah, make sure you weld all your barrels to your wing, and then duplicate it so we have two. So I'm just gonna. I can't use the weld tool because when I remove the weld tool it's going to cause problems, so I'm just going to axis this plate in place, line it up with the middle, so that's that section there. That's caused a bit of a problem, and then of course afterwards you can rotate it, which is wonderful, and do the same for the other side. Right there. Wonderful. Keep them in place, make the hinge out of ball sockets. That doesn't seem very flush to the edge for me. Oh, that's fine. There we go. So, oh, did I do it on this side as well? Let's do it for you. And for you. Remove the axis on both plates, and we can see now. There, that's what we're going for. That was brilliant. So, we're going to need, I'm going to put this down flat because that's kind of the height we want it at. I'm going to put this right there, and now we can make hydraulics on both. They're not going to be fixed because I've been finding a lot of problems with fixed hydraulics. Go right at the centre, and I'm going to spawn the controller there. So you can see that distance is 36, so upright is 36, and from the edges of the wings to the middle is 306. So that's pretty good figures. So let's put those in a constant value. No sense making them exactly 6, so let's make it 15 and 310. So those are going to be our constant values. I've also added a 1 because of the detection system I'm going to be using. So I'm going to add another value here of 50, and that's going to be just for a smoother. that we're going to use as well. So on the very top, I'm going to put a time gate, and it's going to be a smoother. And what it's going to say is at a rate of 50, which is our fourth put, to go to the length. So I'm going to wire the length up to this, even though they're set as 0 at the minute. Ooh, you can see that's kind of alright. So what we need now is something to differentiate between when it's water and when it's not. So let's just use a simple selection gate. So that's select. We're also going to need an arithmetic add. So I'm just going to stick that in the bottom, and then the select gate is going to be there. Wait. Oh, that's still arithmetic. Can't read today. Selection gates. Dear me. Select choice. So we're going to say that when I'm going to say a plus 1, and the wire gate is going to be the water sensor, which is this. So when it's above water, it's 1. When it's below water, when it's above water, it's 0. When it's below water, it's 1. So with the plus 1 means that option 1 is above water, option 2 is in water. So B is going to be having the wings extended, which is output 3, and A is going to be option 2, 15, so when it's retracted. And our choice is going to be this add gate. And our smoother is going to be this select gate. So, with any luck now, okay, so let's just drop that. It rolls into the water sensor activates, barrels deploy, and it raises itself up. Although that's gone a little bit spazzy because of that wheel. That back left wheel, nothing but problems. So drop it, and it submerges for a little bit, and rises up out of the water gracefully like a, I don't know, like a floater. So, it's kind of working. I'd say that's a boat. I mean, it's floating on the water, it's kind of submerged slightly, but that's only because of the centre of mass. The buoyancy being on the edges and not in the middle. But I'm kind of happy with that. The next thing we need to add is propulsion. Okay, so now that we know that the car kind of works, I'm just going to leave it to one side and work on the propulsion on this wing. We already know that the car's going to work in water, on land rather, with the wheels, so now we need a propulsion system for the water. And what I'm going to do is I've taken the wing off, and I'm just going to work on one wing and then duplicate it like I did before, because we already have the system in place for the hydraulics. So I've just got a thruster there of thrust 1000. I'm going to put a multiply gate on the front, just on the left there. And we're going to wire that up to the water sensor, so that when it's above water, it's multiplied by 0. When it's below water, it's it's multiplied by 1, so it's activated. In fact, I'm going to move that closest to the thruster, because it's going to be the control mechanism. So what we're going to do to control forwards and backwards is just stick a subtract gate on there. And we're going to say that A is W and B is S, so that 1 and minus 1 are created. And then I'm going to create another subtract gate, and this subtract gate is going to be the left and right, so that when D is pressed, so A is D and A and B is A on the keyboard. So that means that A is, yeah, it'll all make sense. And then an add gate to take in both those values, multiply them. So let's just wire this up now. So this is forwards and back. So A is W, B is S. Because this is the left wing, we're going to wire A up to D and B up to A. Oh dear, I've gone all the way past. XYZ. A. Right. So, this wire gate is going to take in both these values, this add gate rather, and then those values are going to be multiplied by. Let's let's not include this section just yet, and let's just say that... Let's have a look at that. So, keeping this car perfectly still, we can see that when we want to go forwards, you can see the thruster being fired there. When we want to go backwards, you can see it being fired in the other direction. When we want to go right, it fires. And when we go left, it fires backwards. And now we just need to duplicate this, but on the other wing. So, let's get the duplicator out. Spin it around. So this side's going to go up like that, and this side's going to be spun around the other way like that, which means that the thruster needs to go on the other side. So let's put the thruster on that side. That's right at the top, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. And we need to swap around the second multiply gate, the second subtract gate, because now A is going to be A and D is going to be B, because they've swapped sides. Okay, and now all we need to do is say that the multiply gate is the add gate, multiply to the add gate, and the B is the water sensor on that one, and the multiply gate on that one, B is the water sensor. So at the moment it's multiplied by the water sensor, which means it's just 0 because the water sensor is currently at 0. But if when we're in the water, so when I sit in it now, I press W, that one's firing. Damn it. A is the add gate, B is the water sensor. Oh, I didn't swap the thrusters over, so the thruster is wired to the multiply gate, and the same on this one. Yeah. So, now when I sit in it and press W, you can see the wheels are spinning, nothing's happening. If I was to move it into the water, and look outside, you will see that when I press W, you can see the thrusters are firing. And that's exactly what we want. So now we're ready to hook up the wings back onto the car. Okay, so I've attached the wings again, and I've put a camera on the back so that we can kind of see the car from behind, because when I'm going to third person, this mast sort of gets in the way. I've increased the torque on the tyres, because when I tested it, the car stopped working, but that's because I reversed the wheels. So that's not really relevant. I put a weight on the back that's kind of designed to counter the stuff at the front, so that the ship tries to remain level. And I've taken the thrusters down from 1000 to 500 thrust, because I thought that 1000 was a bit much. So hopefully when we get in now, we can drive the car around. Yeah, there we go, that's a bit smoother. Let's reverse this bitch up. You can see the mast's not very good at keeping the wings in place. Wheels seem to be working now though, which is good. Okay, let's take it nice and slowly into the ocean. Okay, we're in the water, wings deployed, good, that's nice. Yeah. Floating to the surface, brilliant. Okay, let's use the wing boosters. Oh, kind of floating downwards a bit there. The front of, basically what's happening here is the thrusters when firing are pushing the front of the car down. The weight of the front of the car is can't keep up. So let's I've got an idea for that. Okay, right. Now let's drive it into the ocean. Hopefully the new additions will keep the car stable when the thrusters are activated. So into the water, wings deploying, brilliant. Go on, you can deploy better than that. Oh good, we're floating upwards. Right, let's give the thrusters a boost. It's kind of... yeah, that's kind of got it. Nice. The front's still getting pushed under quite a bit, but the side wings are really doing their job. See, like turning. Oh good, I'm holding W, but even when I'm pressing the keys to turn, one of the thrusters is just cutting out, and that's allowing me to turn in the water. Let's activate the boosters. Ooh, they're so powerful that's actually pushing the car out of the water. Okay, let's bring it in for a nice graceful exit from the water. Push it forwards, come on. Look at this. Here we go. Front's out the water. Wings not retracting yet. There we go. The wings are retracting. The wheels are spinning. Oh, I'm trying to make it up the bank. Come on. Activate the boosters. Yeah. Sweet. Oh dear. Yeah. Cool. So there you go. Amphibious car. Automatic deploying wings. It's a bit shoddy. Requires refinement. I mean, the sheer number of barrels on this thing is ridiculous. But it works. It works as a car and it works as a boat. And if our fire the thrusters more powerful, it works as a plane as well. Wonderful. To the skies. Great. So that's the end of this video. I hope you've learned something. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.